Have you ever felt trapped in an inescapable vortex where light is swallowed whole and the whispers of a narcissist echo from every dark corner? Imagine this. You stand before a mirror, empty eyes staring back, not as yourself but as a shadow imprisoned by the one you once called love. The voice inside your head trembles. I gave my heart to someone, but now I realize they were nothing more than a narcissist in disguise. Your heart pounds, not from passion, but from the fear that you've lost yourself in a narcissistic relationship, a prison without walls, yet shackled in invisible chains. Today, we're not talking about a typical breakup. We're stepping into an arena of survival, where you face the narcissist, a figure without a heart to love, without a soul to repent, only an ego burning like wildfire, consuming everything that dares to leave. This is the story of survival, of souls once ensnared in narcissistic relationships across the world. People who believed they had found happiness, only to realize they had walked into a labyrinth of manipulation and pain. We will unmask the narcissist, exposing the sweet promises that lull you into a deadly slumber, the invisible claws that tear at your heart when you try to break free. Why is leaving a narcissistic relationship like escaping a nightmare, where even after you wake up, their voice still lingers like a curse that won't fade? This is no gentle journey. This is a battlefield, the roar of those who were deceived, who were made to doubt themselves, who were trapped in the narcissist web of control. From fabricated love traps to flying monkeys lurking in the shadows, every secret will be exposed. If you've ever felt stuck in a narcissistic relationship, if you've ever wondered whether you can rise from the ashes the narcissist left behind, then here is my promise. Stay. Because this story is not just the light at the end of the tunnel, it is the fire that will burn away your chains, the sword that will cut through the web the narcissist spun to keep you in their darkness. If you're ready to step into this arena, hit that subscribe button right now, because this isn't just a video, this is a battle to reclaim yourself, and together we will conquer the narcissist, one step at a time. Imagine being tightly bound to the narcissist, not by physical chains, but by invisible threads of doubt and fear. You try to run, but every step is another cut, every breath a whisper reminding you that escaping a narcissistic relationship is never easy. This isn't the kind of breakup you read about in novels. There's no tearful goodbye, no bittersweet well wishes. With a narcissist, you leave with a bleeding heart and a mind so tangled, it feels like you've been locked in a maze with no exit. Sarah, a single mother from Ohio, carries her story like a living scar. After 10 years in a narcissistic relationship, she walked out with nothing, not because she didn't fight, but because the narcissist had whispered in her ear for years, "You will be nothing without me. You're a failure if you leave." These weren't just words, they were psychological daggers, sharpened with manipulation, slicing away at her sense of self-worth. And she believed them, every second, every minute, until she could no longer recognize herself in the mirror. All she saw was a fading shadow of what the narcissist had molded her into. This is the first truth you must face. The narcissist doesn't break up with you. They break you, piece by piece, like an artist savoring the suffering they've painted into your life. But what really keeps you trapped in a narcissistic relationship? It's not the remnants of love. The narcissist drained that long ago. It's the illusion, the ghost they conjure to keep you imprisoned in their psychological cage. You fear that the moment you walk away, the narcissist will shed their ugly mask and become the perfect partner, the one you begged them to be. Not for you, but for the next person who steps into their cycle. I've heard it hundreds, thousands of times. They'll change after I leave. They'll love someone else the right way and I'll be left behind with regret. Stop. Look deeper into the truth. That's not reality. That's the lie the narcissist carved into your mind to make sure you never dare to cut the cord. A narcissist doesn't change. They are incapable of it. Their ego is an impenetrable fortress built from arrogance and the fear of being exposed. They don't know how to love. They only know how to reflect your love back at you, feeding off your devotion like a parasite that drains your life force while giving nothing in return. If anyone should be pitied, it's the next person who falls into their trap. because they will suffer the same cycle of lies, manipulation, and heartbreak that you did. I once told a friend, if your ex-narcissist has changed, send their new partner a warning, because soon enough, they'll discover that this new and improved version is just a thin layer of paint covering the same rotting core. So why let that fear, that lie, keep you chained? Why let the narcissist hold the key to a door you could break down yourself? Ask yourself slowly and honestly, have you ever fallen for that illusion? Have you ever thought the narcissist would suddenly become better just because you walked away? If you've been trapped in that lie before, type yes in the comments. We'll come back to your answer later, because I know you're not the only one who has felt the invisible blade of the narcissist slicing into your hope. The narcissist doesn't let go just because you open the door to escape. Its claws are invisible, and it knows exactly how to use them to keep you in the dark, even when you think you're free. Its weapons aren't knives or fire. They're poisonous whispers, psychological traps set with the precision of a master manipulator. Let me take you through its most terrifying arsenal. The first strike is hoovering, a love trap as sweet as a lullaby from a nightmare. One day, you think you've made it out. The sun shines through your window. Your heart starts beating to the rhythm of life again. Then your phone vibrates in the dead of night. I can't live without you. I was wrong. You are everything to me. The words are honeyed, warm, exactly the embrace you once craved. But don't be fooled. This is the narcissist's call. The invisible net pulling you back into a relationship built on lies and pain. Mike from Texas told me he went back 3 times because of these words. Each time, the narcissist was gentle, the perfect partner, bringing flowers, kneeling in apology, promising a new future, only to rip him apart the moment he let his guard down, feeding off his pain like fuel for their ego. Do you have the strength to walk past that call, or have you too heard the narcissist's lullaby and fallen back into the abyss? Then comes the instant replacement. An invisible knife stabbing straight into your self-worth. Yesterday you were curled up in the corner, clutching the shattered pieces of your heart, wondering what you did wrong in the relationship. Today, the narcissist has already found someone new, parading them on Instagram like a trophy, smiling like you never existed. I've seen the strongest people crumble under this blow. They've told me, I feel like trash, discarded without a second thought. But here's the truth you need to carve into your heart. To a narcissist, you were never a partner, never a soulmate. You were a possession, a toy to be replaced the moment it no longer served them. They don't love, they own. And when you're no longer useful to their ego, they latch on to the next person without a single glance back. Their cruelty doesn't reflect your worth, it reflects their emptiness. A black hole that no real love could ever fill. And then, the most horrifying weapon of all, the flying monkeys, the narcissist's army of puppets, manipulated to attack you all over again. You think your family and friends will be your last line of defense after escaping a narcissistic relationship? Wrong. The narcissist whispers venom, sometimes sweet, sometimes toxic, until the people you love turn against you. Lisa told me her ex-husband turned her entire family against her. She left me for no reason, she's selfish, cold-hearted, he said, and they believed him. The sister who once held her through heartbreak now called her a traitor. Mutual friends vanished overnight. Suddenly, the people who were once the light in your life become extra daggers in the narcissist's hand, stabbing you when you're already too weak to fight. This isn't an accident. This is a strategy, a way for the narcissist to extend your suffering even when they're no longer holding the knife themselves. But there's one last move, the cruelest of them all, stalking. They let you believe you're finally free, to breathe, to hope. Then they step out of the shadows, reminding you that you were never truly safe. Anna thought she had escaped. Then, one night, a message appeared on her phone. Saw you at the cafe today. That blue dress looks good on you. It wasn't just that they knew where she was. They wanted her to know that they knew. She changed her number. She moved houses. But every night, she still heard the narcissist's whispers in her head. Not because they were there, but because they had planted the seed of fear so deep in her mind. This isn't just a breakup, this is a hunt, and the narcissist thrives on knowing you still live in fear. Which of the narcissist's claws have touched you? Was it the sweet call that pulled you back in? The knife of seeing them move on instantly? The flying monkeys tearing you down? Or the shadow lurking behind you, waiting for you to exhale? Tell us in the comments, because you are not alone. Every scar from a narcissist is proof that you fought, and today we turn those scars into fire, the fire that will burn away their web of manipulation. You think leaving a narcissistic relationship is the end? Think again. When the doors of the legal system open, you don't step into freedom, you step into a battlefield, a death match where the narcissist doesn't fight to reconcile, doesn't fight to let go, but fights to completely destroy you. This is where blood runs like rivers, where tears fall like rain, and where every dream you once built in the relationship can be torn apart by the narcissist's relentless jaws. The first battle. A divorce drenched in blood. A narcissistic divorce isn't a division of assets. It's a looting disguised as justice. The narcissist doesn't just take their share, they devour everything like a starving beast that never gets full. I've seen the sharpest, most prepared people lose their homes, their savings, even their hope, because they never anticipated the level of cruelty coming their way. They hide accounts, transfer money into someone else's name, drain everything before you even have a chance to fight. Tom told me his ex-wife withdrew $30,000 from their joint account the day before their court hearing. When he confronted her, she smirked, cold, empty-eyed, and said, "Because I can." This isn't divorce, this is annihilation. It's the narcissist's way of leaving you kneeling in the rubble with nothing to hold on to. They don't just take your money, they take your faith in justice. They take your belief that you'll ever be able to start over. The second battle, weaponizing your children. Custody battles are sharper than any blade you've ever faced. While you were together, the narcissist barely noticed the kids, never read bedtime stories, never took them out, never asked how they felt. But the moment you try to leave, they roar for 50/50 custody. Not for love, not for responsibility, but to stab you where it hurts the most. John from Florida spent 3 years and $50,000 trying to prove his ex-wife was an unfit mother. She stood in court, crocodile tears rolling down her cheeks, her voice trembling as she spoke of the unbearable pain of being abandoned, and the judge believed her. She won custody of children she had never even cared for. This battlefield is rarely fair, because narcissists know how to manipulate the system, how to play the victim, how to twist the truth until you look like the crazy one screaming into a crowd that refuses to listen. The final blow, stalking and revenge. Just when you think you've survived, when you think the narcissist is finally gone, they strike again. A text at 3 a.m. You think you can hide from me? I know where you are. A call from an unknown number. A knock at the door in the dead of night. They want you to live in fear, to be trapped in a glass cage of paranoia where every shadow could be them. Emily thought she was free after 15 years in a narcissistic relationship. Then flowers arrived at her workplace with a note. "I'm always close by." She changed her number. She moved 3 times. But every night she still heard their whisper, not because they were there, but because they had planted the seed of terror in her mind. This isn't a breakup. This is a declaration of war. A narcissist doesn't just let you go. They make a vow. You will never be free, not even in your dreams. But here's the truth you need to know. Why does the narcissist do all this? Not because they are powerful, but because they are weak. Their ego is a castle built on sand, ready to collapse the moment you step into the light. Every act of revenge, every threat, every attempt to ruin you is the desperate scream of someone who knows. They couldn't keep you with love. They couldn't make you stay with honesty. They could never have what real love requires. What they fear most isn't losing you, it's being exposed. They are terrified that the world will see them, not as a hero, not as a victim, but as the true narcissist they are. a hollow, soulless figure with empty eyes and a heart of ice. Understanding this is your first weapon, because the moment you see that the narcissist is not invincible, their whispers will no longer shake you. Which of these battles have you fought? Was it the divorce that left you with nothing? The custody fight that drained you to your last breath? The shadow that lurks, the threats that never stop? Share your story in the comments. We'll read some of them next. Because the scars you carry are not marks of defeat. They are proof that you stood up, that you fought, that you are stronger than the narcissist ever thought you'd be. Leaving a narcissistic relationship isn't about running away on trembling legs. It's about standing tall, sword in hand, and reclaiming the soul the narcissist tried to steal. You are no longer prey. You are the conqueror, the fire that will burn their web of manipulation to ashes. But how do you defeat a narcissist who never stops whispering from the shadows? This is your battle map, forged in the blood and tears of those who have walked through the fire and emerged into the light. Step 1. Plan in the shadows. Silent, sharp, and unforgiving. A narcissist has sharp ears. If they hear even the faintest whisper of your escape plan, they will unleash every manipulative weapon they have. Hide your assets, back up documents, record every threat, every toxic message, do everything like a ghost, leaving no trace. I've seen people declare, "I'm leaving you," only to lose everything from their home to their dignity because they didn't understand one brutal truth. The narcissist doesn't fight fair. Tom, the man who lost $30,000, learned this the hard way. The second time, he stayed silent. He tracked the accounts, hired a lawyer before she could act, and walked away with half the house and something even greater, his self-respect. Don't announce, don't warn, just act. Act like a warrior who knows they're fighting an enemy without a heart. Step 2. Build your army. Find the knights who will stand with you. You cannot fight this battle alone. You need people who see through the narcissist's mask, even when it's wrapped in the illusion of being a hero. A sharp lawyer, one who understands how narcissists manipulate, is your sword. But not every lawyer is strong enough to wield it. I've seen people hire the wrong attorney, only to watch them fall for the narcissist's sob story, getting caught in their victim act instead of fighting for justice. You also need allies, friends and family who won't be lured by the narcissist's flying monkeys, who won't waver under their deceit. Maria survived because of her sister, the only one who didn't believe her ex-husband's lies, the one who stood by her when the world turned its back. Find your army, keep them close. They are the fire that will keep you warm when the battlefield turns cold. Step 3. Cut the chains. No hesitation, no looking back. Lock the number, delete social media, sever every last thread the narcissist could use to pull you back into their toxic world. This is not the time for weakness. One small crack, one text message you respond to, is all they need to whisper their way back in, hoovering you into the darkness again. Anna, who was stalked, told me that the day she blocked his number was the day she took her first real breath in 5 years. For the first time, I heard silence, she said, and it was sweeter than any apology he could have given, because I knew he never meant it. You owe the narcissist nothing, not an explanation, not a second chance, not the opportunity to prove they've changed. You owe yourself only one thing, freedom, and freedom begins with shutting the door so tightly that they will never have the chance to slip through again. But this is the most important step. Break the curse in your mind. The narcissist whispered in your ear for years that you were weak, that you couldn't live without them, that you were a failure if you dared to leave. That is their final weapon. Not their flying monkeys, not their revenge, but the seed of doubt they planted in you from day one. You must stand before the mirror and see the truth. You are not the broken, helpless victim they wanted you to believe you were. You are the fire they could never extinguish. You are the sword they could never break. Every step you take away from the narcissist shatters their fragile ego. Every day you live without them is proof that you are stronger than their curse. This is your battlefield, and you hold the sword. The narcissist will never change. They cannot change. They are slaves to their own darkness. But you can change, and you will. Rise. Reclaim the crown the narcissist tried to steal from you, because you don't just deserve freedom. You deserve the glory of conquering the narcissist who thought they could keep you in chains. We have walked through the deepest darkness, faced the claws of the narcissist, and survived the blood-soaked battlefields they built to imprison you. And now you stand here, not as a trembling victim paralyzed by fear, but as a conqueror, sword blazing in hand. Thousands of souls across the world have carried this fire, shattered their chains, and risen from the ashes the narcissist left behind. And you? You are not just one of them. You are the brightest flame, the fiercest roar. Etch this truth into your heart. The narcissist has no heart to love you, no soul to repent for you, no light to guide them out of their own darkness. But you have the power to love yourself again, to rebuild your life from the pieces they tried to grind into dust. This journey is not a path paved with roses. It is a battlefield, a fire that burns hot, a collection of scars that you wear as badges of honor, proof that you survived the nightmare. But it is worth it, because every step away from the narcissist is a step closer to your crown, closer to the freedom you were born to claim, closer to the strongest version of yourself that they could never touch. Now pause for a second, feel it deeply, feel the fire in your chest, the strength the narcissist could never extinguish, no matter how many curses they whispered, no matter how many traps they set. You didn't just survive them, you conquered them. With every day you wake up without them, with every dream you reclaim, with every breath of freedom you own again. This is not the end of the story. This is the first chapter of a new book, a book where you write the narrative, where the narcissist's shadow does not stain a single page. If this journey has ignited something in you, if it has made you grip your sword tighter and rise from the ashes, then like, subscribe, and share this with anyone still fighting their own narcissist. Drop your story in the comments, the scars you wear, the victories you've won, the moments you shattered the curse and stepped into the light. Together we will build an army stronger than ever before. A legion of warriors who will never bow to the whispers of a narcissist again.